Assalamu alaikum. Mr. Moderator, our distinguished guests, brothers and sisters, our friends and our enemies.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salamu ala nabina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ba'd. So the time has come, ikhwan and akhwat, for me to stop making these videos on the South Africa. I do hold the right to make videos in the future or to have interviews in the future, but as for putting out these videos like on a regular basis, then I've decided to stop doing that and to get to dawah. And I want everyone to understand that first and foremost, I haven't been coerced, I haven't been advised or any of that stuff, man. I'm just doing this all on my own, 100% on my own. Nobody's forcing me. You guys noticed that in a few of my past videos that I challenged these guys. I challenged them on a regular basis to please come and refute me. And notice how they haven't done squat. They haven't said anything. They're just on their Twitter or whatever, freaking out or whatever they're doing, right? And just remaining silent in all these videos. Meanwhile, the reach of the videos has been actually much greater than I anticipated. I didn't really expect like such a large response like that. And here's the thing, okay? I wanted to start making these videos maybe about 20 videos ago, like straight up legit, okay? I wanted to start making them like about 20 videos ago, right? Around that time, right? And I was just like tired of talking about these guys, but I thought because the community, they really weren't clear on these guys, and they just... So I started making these videos by chance, as most of you know, and my channel was initially, I had some car stuff on it. I was working at Grisby Kia, so I put some stuff for selling cars or whatever. And then I just wanted to change. I wanted to do like health and fitness, and then I just qadar Allah, I ended up in this subject. Total qadar Allah. I really wasn't expecting this much of a reach, but it just happened, you know? So at any rate, what does that have to do with anything, right? These videos, in essence, it's not knowledge, it's not ilm, it's not like kitab or sunnah or anything like that. It's ghiba, it's backbiting. You know, I'm backbiting these guys, all right? So you're probably wondering, well, if you're backbiting these guys, why are you doing it? It's like the Salaf used to say, if I don't speak and you don't speak, then who is going to warn the people? You know, if a woman wants to marry a man and she has a wakil or whatnot, or wali, and she marries this man, and this man has STDs, okay? And the man gives the woman STDs, you know, after this marriage. Who's the first person she's going to call? She's going to call the wakil or the wali. And did you know that this brother you set me up with has STDs? If the wakil says, yes, I did, but I didn't want to backbite the brother, would you accept that? No. Okay? This is like the South Africa, okay? They are the STDs of the Ummah. I don't know how else to put it. You know what I mean? They are just a disease. They are a rancid disease that is plaguing the Ummah. So I'm supposed to be silent about this funky disease that is plaguing people? You know, I have some information I have to give the Muslims. That's what it is. That's all it is. Right? And you know, see how I challenged them over and over and over to come and refute me, and they didn't? Not on a single topic. The only thing that they did was run up into my Facebook and Instagram and pull up a bunch of pictures. And how did that work out for them? You see what I'm saying? Because that's their only play. That's all they can do. What are they going to do? Refute facts? They can't do that. So anyway, so why am I stopping now? Like, I wanted to stop making these videos like 20 videos ago. And the brother Abu Sufyan, he sent me the audio of Musa Richardson, and I was like, oh, I can't stop. Obviously, I have to deal with this. And believe me, I'm telling you, I can continue making videos on Musa's lecture if I wanted to. I can rip out probably almost every single sentence. The only things that he said in that video that was true was, probably all praises due to Allah, and that's it. Praising Allah and subhanakallah bihamdik, whatever. That's it. Everything else, everything in between is like a lie. It's just pure lies. So yeah, I can do more. Absolutely. I can get into other subjects even. There are 2 videos that I absolutely wanted to make, right? But I decided now to either leave those videos for the future or even possibly not making them all. And the reason that I'm deciding now to stop making these videos is because the brothers are becoming united. And when I say they're becoming united, I'm not talking about 1 or 2 brothers here, right? I'm even in the States, but mostly in Canada, right? The brothers are becoming united, right? And the brothers are on some different stuff now. Brothers are getting together to make a dawah, right? So, like I didn't intend, but Allah has a plan, right? And this is from Allah's plan. These people, these South Africa, they got exposed. Ain't nothing they can do about it. If they start refuting me now, well, guess what? It's too late. I'm not responding. Sucks to be you. You had your chance. You had your chance to make a response. Now, anything that you do from this point, it just looks like your typical grasping at straws plays, red herring plays. That's it. They're finished. Straight up. They're done. So I don't even have to do anything now. I don't need to, because they have been thoroughly exposed. And I don't think anybody can deny that anyway. Do you think they're not watching my videos? They're watching my videos on a regular. Okay? Like straight up. So that's why I decided now, because things are getting done now, alhamdulillah. And that was an unforeseen good consequence of these videos. So I just wanted to talk to the brothers and sisters a bit before I close out. And I want to talk about choices. The reason why a lot of people, they find it difficult to leave whatever group that they're in, it all comes down to choices. There's some large part. Now, in Islam, we are confined to make our choices within the boundaries of the Quran and the Sunnah. So what ends up happening is that you naturally prefer your own choices. This is human nature. When you were given the choice between 2 things, and you have chosen 2 or more things, that doesn't make a difference, and you yourself have chosen an item or a service or something like that, naturally your choice, the one that you choose, that's the one you're going to prefer. So a lot of the times this is an illusion. So you think you're actually choosing something, but it's the illusion of choice, and it's the illusion that you've actually chosen that which is truth, because somebody else has convinced you that you've chosen the truth. But in reality, the truth in itself is confined to the principles of the Quran and the Sunnah. So I'll give you an example, real life example, right? So from me, myself personally, right? I became Muslim through the way of the Nation of Islam. I heard Louis Farrakhan's cassettes, and I believed what he said in his cassettes, so I took my shahada based upon that. Now we know that Louis Farrakhan, he's not Muslim, right? But at that time, I believe that he is, because I believe that what he was feeding the people was the truth, right? So now because I chose to follow him, right? I prefer that choice over, for example, staying in Christianity, right? But I hadn't really fully grasped that the truth in reality is from the principles in the Quran and the Sunnah. So if you really want to know that if you're truly upon the truth, then you will scrutinize your practice and belief with the standards revealed to us in the Quran and the Sunnah. It makes sense? You guys understand, right? So this is why many people, they become partisan, they become hizbi, because they fell into the trap of believing that their choice of following this person or this individual or this group is in fact the truth and is in fact the Quran and the Sunnah, when it might be something completely different. And it never occurred to them that maybe what they're upon isn't the truth. Or if somebody presents them with the real truth, they won't even look at it because they see the person presenting them with that truth as a an opponent. Do you understand? So my favorite sheikh, he's Sheikh Al-Bani. I mentioned this many times, and he used to say that Islam, the principles of Salafiyya is based upon tasfiyah wa tarbiyah. Okay, so you purify the deen of that which is foreign from it, and then you cultivate the people upon which is the mannerisms, the characteristics, and everything related to the Quran and the Sunnah, right? So this is what Islam is based upon, right? He used to say this all the time, right? And from the principles of who you keep close to you is the principles called wala wa bara, right? So we make wilaya, or we keep close to us the people who are closer to the Prophet ﷺ and is following and following him, and the companions and like this in Islam, whatever, who are really pious and good character. And we make bara of people who are kuffar, munafiqun, these type of people. Like, so the further they are from Islam, the more that we distance ourselves from them. The closer they are to Islam, the more we draw ourselves closer to them. So where am I going with all this? Now, there's this phenomenon, particularly with converts. I want to say with black converts because I've experienced this. I know a lot of black converts that experienced this personally, that they would go to a Pakistani brother or Indo-Pak brother, right? And they would say, Assalamu alaikum. And the brother will return the salam like this, wa alaikum, right? Because the Indo-Pak, he's looking at this black brother, right? And he thinks that this person is not a Muslim, right? Perhaps the brother, he's just wearing regular Western clothes, whatnot. But he's saying salam to the brother. He's returning it back, wa alaikum, because he thinks he's not Muslim, right? So, especially when I was younger, I used to get infuriated when this happened to me, when, because I only really experienced this with mostly the brothers from Pakistani or Indian origin or whatnot, right? And they would turn Assalamu alaikum, and I'd be like, brother, I'm Muslim, I'm Muslim, right? So, you know what I mean? Like, you got to explain to the guy that he's Muslim, because they're saying wa alaikum because they think that you're not Muslim. That's what they're saying, right? So they're saying wa alaikum because they don't understand that you are actually Muslim, right? You're just black, you're not Pakistani or Arab or Sudanese or anything like that, right? So a lot of us experience this. You can ask pretty much any black convert. I think most of us have experienced that, right? So anyway, the point is that this was infuriating, right? And it would make you feel bad, right? That's this brother, he's not giving you the complete salam, and he thinks that you're not Muslim, and that's why he's doing that, right? So what if somebody doesn't return the salam to you at all? They don't say anything. Okay? That's my point here. So as I said before, that for Muslims, we are restricted in our practice within the Quran and the Sunnah. And here is an ayah, it's Surah An-Nisa, it's the 86th ayah, and it says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وإذا حييتم بتحية فحيوا بأحسن منها أو ردوها إن الله كان على كل شيء حسيبا. Right? So when you are greeted with a salutation, greet with one better than it, or return it the same. Surely Allah is the one who takes account of everything. So Allah has ordered you in the Quran itself to return the salam with something equal or better. So my point is here that this is a direct order from Allah himself in the Quran. If you do not return the salam, you are making the haram, it's fard, it's a wajib, you know? Allah ordered us to return the salam, and you have a whole bunch of people calling themselves Salafi, telling you not to return the salam to Ahlul Bid'ah. Furthermore, we already have like principles when it comes to Islam. If you can't even do a small thing like this, a small tiny thing like this, right, then how are you ever going to claim to be upon the truth in anything? You know what I mean? At least the brothers from the Indo-Pak community, when they don't return the salam, right, we can say that they have some hujjah. We can say that they have some evidence, right? Because they're returning the salam. They're saying wa alaikum. At least they say that. They say wa alaikum, right? Because they're not sure if you're Muslim or not, and that's why they're saying that. Right, you are sure, 100% positive that the person that is giving you this salam is in fact a Muslim, and you will not return it, calling yourself Salafi. MashaAllah. And that's just one thing, a tiny thing like this. A tiny thing like this. So, how did we get here? Because somebody convinced you that what you were doing is the haqq. And instead of going back to the Quran and the Sunnah and inspecting it and seeing if you were in fact doing the haqq, right? You were just following, what somebody else told you what the haqq is. This is a plain, easy, simple thing. Like things like this, right? I'll give you another example. So those of you who've been watching these videos, you know about this brother named Maruf, okay? The first Imam of Troy. And let me tell you something about this brother, okay? This brother, like back in those days, we were pretty close-knit, and he is a brother that I trust so much that I actually, even at that time, I put his name as an executor to my will, okay? His trustworthiness and his piety is very well known, right? So anyway, there's another brother who I was very close to at that time, and Maruf, he had such a good reputation, and this brother married his daughter to Maruf, okay? And from this marriage, Maruf, he has a son. Okay, this son of Maruf is Hafiz of the Quran. I want you guys to think about this for a second. His son is Hafiz of Quran. So at any rate, the grandfather moved far away from Toronto. And, and he is somebody who I have a lot of respect for. And, I consider him to be, our families were very close. We used to eat at each other's homes. We got invited to dinner, all kinds of stuff, right? And those brothers at Troy, right? Not the regular brothers, but, like Omar, Ahmed, these type of people, right? They would relentlessly backbite this brother, like relentlessly, like talk about him so badly, okay, behind his back. So at any rate, make a long story short, I got in contact with the brother. Now remember, okay, Maruf, from this same brother, his lineage has a grandson who is a hafiz of Quran. Maybe on Yom Qiyamah, Amaru's grandfather might have a crown because of this, his hikmah and wisdom in allowing his daughter to marry Maruf and have this son. You know what I mean? Half of the Quran, okay? And I contacted the brother, right? Because I haven't, talked to him for many, many years, right? And he says, I don't need a car. He's very rude to me. It's very rude. And he blocked me, okay? On the phone, right? So he blocked me, right? So, but anyway, what's the point of all? Why am I telling you this story, right? The whole point is that these people, the story is not unique. These people cut ties with the Muslims, and I'm asking you, is this the manhaj of the Salaf? That's all I'm asking. Is this the manhaj from the Salaf to cut ties with the Muslims, okay? So now we're going to go to this hadith. So in this hadith, we see either from Anas bin Malik, radiallahu anhu, where he says, the Messenger of Allah, he said, do not desert or stop talking to one another. Do not nurse hatred towards one another. Do not be jealous towards one another. And become as fellow brothers and slaves of Allah. It is not lawful for a Muslim to stop talking to his brother for more than 3 days. Here, this brother who I still have love for and respect for, blocking me on the phone, right? Why? Because I'm speaking about Abu Khadija, Musa Richardson in Detroit. Where's your wala wa bara? Is this the religion of Islam? Which hadith did you get this from, right? And I'm going to tell you something else. This story is not unique. There are plenty of brothers and sisters who've gone through this, okay? Brothers talking about, oh, I can't talk to you anymore because you are unclear, right? Or I'm still with the brothers, so I'm making hajr of you because you have shubha, you have doubts. Which religion are you practicing? Show me the hadith for that. Show me the ayat of Quran for that, please. You call yourself Salafi, no problem. Atini hujjah, please bring your evidence. Hatul burhanakum in kuntum sadiqin. Bring your proof you're truthful. You know what I'm saying? So because you chose this way, you chose the method of the Salaf, right? In your head, the people who brought you or told you about Salafiyya, they have to be right. But what you have to understand, the reality is that they don't have to be anything. The only one who is right is the Prophet ﷺ himself, right? Our evidence comes directly from the Quran and the Sunnah, and we follow the Quran and the Sunnah the way that the Sahaba, how they followed it. This is our religion, right? What you're following is a different religion, and I challenge you, as a matter of fact, anybody who has similar stories and you're watching this video right now, put it in the comments, please. Put your stories in the comments about people not giving you salam, or people making hajr of you, boycotting you, all kinds of stuff. Put these stories out so that people can see. Please do that. Because again, we are confined to the Quran and the Sunnah. Anybody who's doing this, are they practicing the Quran and the Sunnah now? You can call yourself Salafi all day. I don't care. Call yourself Salafi. It doesn't make a difference. Where's your practice of the hadith then? Please, let the world know if you're upon the truth.
I'm going to be cooking.
Brothers and sisters who were once friends are now enemies. For a lot of us new Muslims, people who became into Islam, our only Muslim family are other converts. And these people are telling you not to give these other converts salam because they have a difference of opinion about Abu Khadija. Our religion is now based upon people now, right? MashaAllah, because this is what Sheikh Albani, this is what he taught us, this is what Sheikh Uthaymeen taught us, this is Bin Baz taught us. This is the opposite of what they taught us, 100%. I challenge anybody to look into the books of the Salaf, right, and tell me where I am supposed to not return the salam to the Muslims. Right, they'll bring you some stuff from hundreds and hundreds of years ago where they used to punish Ahlul Bid'ah with this. Let me ask you something, you brothers and sisters who are doing this, not returning the salams, making hajr. The reason why I did that in the past was to punish Ahlul Bid'ah, to bring them to the truth. How many people have you not returned the salam to, and those people came back to the truth, as you put it? How many? Go ahead, I'll wait. Let us know. Put it in the comments. Show us how it's working for you. Please. Do you know how many converts to Islam, when they become Muslim, they get kicked out of their houses for becoming Muslim? My wife being one of them. Kicked out of their homes. And now you're telling these Muslims, new Muslims, they already have the stress of trying to stay in Islam. Maybe the sister, she's putting on her hijab, struggling with hijab. Maybe the brother struggling with his beard or whatnot. Now you're telling him to make hajr of the Muslims because he has shubha, right? Doing the haram. So now you're making the haram halal in your worldview, right? And on top of that, you're stressing Muslims who come into Islam, causing additional stress because, oh, this brother, he's going to the masjid of the deviants. You know what I mean? Like, no sense whatsoever. And on top of that, all of this, you'll be taken into account for because the ayat is crystal clear. The ayats are crystal clear. The hadith are so clear. It is haram for you to cut ties with your family, even if they're kuffar. It is haram for you to cut ties even more so for the Muslims, right? And you're telling the people, don't talk to your families or the Muslims. This is 100% cult behavior. Every single cult, this is what they do. 100%. Not some of them, all of them. They tell the people to cut ties with their families. They tell the people to cut ties with the other people in their religion because they are astray, right? And in our worldview, we are correct. So I challenge you now. I know you're watching. I challenge you. Bring your hujjah, bring your proof, please. Let the world know why you are not returning salams to the Muslims. Why are you cutting off the people? Why are you blocking us on phone or whatnot? Why friends have to be enemies now? For other men, not even for Allah and His Messenger, for the sake of other men and other groups. And this is not Hizbiyah? Well, mashallah. At any rate, this is why a lot of people become partisan. They become Hizb because of this idea that they were convinced by other people that they're upon the truth. So instead of going back and referring back to what is revealed or what is understood by the earlier generations, asking a question to an alim, essentially they stick to what they were taught by other people because they show some homage and some loyalty to the people that brought them to the truth, right? And instead of growing and expanding their minds, they stick to what they know. And Allah has ordered you to stick to the Quran and the Sunnah. And at any rate, when Allah He confines your beliefs and actions to what He's revealed, to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his companions, right? This is how you implement your religion, right? So you should always be growing and expanding, right? And trying to gain knowledge and implement what you've learned, right? The restricting to certain ulama and groups, this is pure Hizbiyah. Like, what else you want? It's Republicans versus Democrats. It's conservatives versus liberals. It's Autobots versus Decepticons. It's Hizbiyah, man. So for the Muslims now who are just like, where do we go from here? Straight up, the reason why this is my last video is because we're making dawah. Like, the brothers are legit, like, united. We're getting together, we're making dawah. There's no need to make any more videos about these people, right? They've been thoroughly exposed. And anybody who watches these videos and insists on following them still, how can you feel sorry for people like that? Like, why like, just leave those people alone. You know what I'm saying? Oh, brother, they're telling me that I'm going to the masjid of the deviants, or oh, they're gonna call Sheikh Ubaid or Sheikh Rabi, and oh, this, and you know, oh, he blocked me. Just leave those people alone. You are not the masul of these people. If Allah wants to guide a people, He's going to guide the people. Allah only Allah knows what's in the hearts of the people. And perhaps there's some darkness in their heart, and that's why they're like that. That's why they're in that situation. You don't know, but Allah, He knows. So, at the end of the day, what's upon you is to worship Allah and not the people. If you want to worship Allah, you follow the Quran and the Sunnah, and the correct way to follow Quran and Sunnah is the way the Sahaba, how they followed it. If you want to worship the people, no problem. Sheikh Rabi, he never made a mistake. Sheikh Ubaid, he never made a mistake. Abu Khadija, he never made a mistake. Go ahead. You know, they can't be wrong ever. You know, we will not refute them. You know, that's your religion. At least own that. You know, every single Sufi, they own their Hizbiyah, like straight up. They own, like if you look at the Sufis now, they have their tariqat, right? They have their imams, and they will tell you straight up, we follow our sheikh. We do not disobey our sheikh. Whatever our sheikh tells us, we do. They own that. They own that. If you're going to be Hizbi, at least own that crap. You know what I mean? We follow Abu Khadija. We follow the brothers. You know what I'm saying? We are with Troy. We are with Spubs. Right? And we are not leaving them ever, because this is our group. But don't accuse the other people of Hizbiyah when you're the Hizbis. Just, you know, step up and, you know, just call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, big things are coming, inshallah. As for anybody who has ever talked about me, whether in public or private, or in your secret WhatsApp groups or whatever, it doesn't make a difference. Twitter, Instagram, and a lot of things have been said about me, you know, so much. Everybody who's ever talked about me from this day, I forgive everything. Whether you know, agree with me or not, it doesn't make a difference. I forgive everything. Those brothers who know me, they know how I am. I never hold grudges, ever. Right? So anybody who is ever spoke about me from this day, I forgive everything, right? And I ask Allah to forgive me for my sins and my shortcomings. Really, I'm just a brother. I'm just a dude, man. You know what I mean? But I spoke the truth, and because, you know, the truth was spoken, you know, alhamdulillah, a lot of good came out of it. And you're about to see the good. We're about to get to some real dawah, you know, and it's not just the States or Britain, like here in Canada, especially here in Canada, the brothers are uniting, and that's why it is like not even necessary. Though again, I do hold the right to make these videos in the future, at least the two I wanted to make. And if I want to have interviews in the future, I'll do them. But from now on, you know, it's just going to be about dawah. Subhanakallah bihamdik wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
Paper gold. You see, black folks are chumps. If America were to tell you to bring all the rocks in this country to her, and she'll give you $1 million for it, you'll do it. And the next day she'll tell you, we're using rocks for currencies, chump.